Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, this is one of the most laughable things that I have seen in a good while. So it made me laugh, so I'm bringing it to you. Hopefully it will make you laugh too. This is ludicrous beyond belief. So I'll bring you the headline first. I am politically smarter than Bukola Saraki, and this is according to Adams Oshiomole, our short little man from Edo State. So again, the headline, I am politically smarter than Bukola Saraki, and this is Adams Oshiomole saying this. So why is he saying this? So let's get into the body of the story and find out. Adams Oshiomole, the APC national chairman, says Bukola Saraki's loss in the last general election has proven that he, Oshiomole, is politically smarter than Saraki. Oshiomole said this whilst fielding questions from State House correspondents after a meeting with President Buhari yesterday, July 29th. The former Edo State governor said under his leadership as APC chairman, he successfully uprooted the former Senate President Bukola Saraki and his cronies politically in Kwara. Noting that Saraki is equally a smart political player, Oshiomole said, "Remember, I was saying that Saraki must be removed. People said, how would I do it? I said, okay, if he resists removal, then we would uproot him. We went to Kwara, we did the Otoge, enough is enough, and we uprooted Saraki. You know who Saraki is? If you are talking of the smartest political player, seasoned smart guy, he is. But for every smartness he has, I have a superior smartness. At the end of the day, who won? As a Senate president, we uprooted him as senator. We uprooted his nominee for governor and senators. We put our own. Today, he doesn't have one senator in Kwara. He doesn't have one House of Representative in Kwara. Everything in Kwara is APC, and you can't commend me for that. If you don't, then I will be like a lizard. I will praise myself if you State House correspondents don't praise me." Recall that Oshiomole vowed to ensure the removal of Saraki as Senate President after the controversial election that saw him emerge as the leader of the Senate was conducted in June 2015. Saraki, who was not the APC's favored candidate for the position of Senate President, later defected from the party to PDP in August 2018. So now this is this short little guy, our own runt of the litter, Adams Oshiomole, going around boasting that he singularly is responsible for having Saraki removed from his senatorial seat. But of course, it's nothing to do with any form of smartness, because the elections in Kwara State was not an election but a selection. It's effectively a repeat of what happened in every other state in the country. We saw how Senator Adeleke won, and they gave it to whatever his name is, the guy nobody knows. We saw how Ganduje was voted out of Kano, but they enforced him on Kano State anyway. So the methodology that they are using to do this enforcement sits outside of the electoral process. So if the will of the people is not what is being held fast in the electoral process in Nigeria, then you can't really claim to have any smartness, because it is not smartness to go and just rob. You know, robbing is robbing. You are not you cannot say a thief is smart, because it is not the expectation that you should go and steal. So if you then go and steal, you have not outsmarted the person that you are stealing from, because it is not the expectation that you should go and steal. So these people have robbed this guy of the will of his people, and is now going around boasting that he's smart, that for every smart guy he is a superior smartness. I mean, this guy is a real joker with his American teeth and his black body, and he's just out of congruence with any known being. I mean, this is just some funny looking guy, some short little guy from Edo State. I don't know what they produce in that at Edo State that makes them look like that, because their new governor is no different from this short little guy, you know. So now this now boastful little whatever it is, Adams Oshiomole, is now boasting that he's smarter than Bukola Saraki. Can you imagine that? Somebody like Adams Oshiomole, in his own imagination, in his own head, is of the thought that is smarter than Bukola Saraki. As they say on the streets of Lagos, who born dog? I mean, it's just ludicrous, isn't it? We all know what happened, and the thing was so egregious that Atiku is still fighting till now at the electoral panel, because he saw the figures coming in, and then the figures were out of congruence with what was announced by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. So now this guy is now saying, how can all these figures come in and you announce something that's completely at look at the figures that were coming out of Borno State, where they were allocating 800,000 votes in a war zone. And so that's just the funniest election that's ever happened, and this is really what played out in Kwara State as well. So they just announced figures as they did everywhere else. You know, look at what they gave Sowore that campaigned the length and breadth of that country, and all of the youths were singing and dancing for him, and you said he got less than 35,000. Even if there's apathy amongst the youth, it's not going to be 35,000 that would then come out and vote for him for all the effort that guy made. So you can already tell, even Sowore goes around the media and they're saying that what we had in Nigeria was just a sham. No, there's no election took place, and I don't think anybody of any real thought in their head would be of the view that any election took place. So for this short little guy now to be going around boasting that he outsmarted Bukola Saraki, so clearly Bukola Saraki is something that's been playing at the back of his mind. So he wants to be like Bukola Saraki, a good-looking guy, a well-educated guy, a clever guy. This is what Adams Oshiomole aspires to. And Adams Oshiomole, of course, is the direct opposite of Bukola Saraki. Is not a particularly good-looking guy. In fact, you know, I don't even want to use, you know, because I don't want to start qualifying the looks of a man like myself. But you can take a look at his picture and you see immediately that, you know, this is just one that you just park to the side, and he's not a particularly well-educated man. This is a man that cannot even structure three sentences to cohere. So this is, and he's definitely not a smart guy. This is just some street fighter type of politician, because we have a lot of these street fighter type politicians in Nigeria, but we don't actually have people that are politically astute and people that have the deftness and the dexterity of Bukola Saraki in the plentiful. In fact, I can't really think of too many of them that are of that ilk. The closest I can really think again is probably Ben Bruce or somebody, because he's articulate. But in terms of political maneuvering, Atiku is a good political maneuverer too, but he doesn't have quite the breadth and the depth of somebody like Bukola Saraki. That guy is the smartest politician we have in Nigeria, for my reckoning. I don't like him. The guy that wrecked Society General and just walked away with all of the money in the whole bank, you know, and the guy that just, you know, ripped through Kwara State, although he did one or two good things. You remember that Bukola Saraki was the one that brought all those white Zimbabwean farmers that Mugabe was kicking out of Zimbabwe to Kwara State to come and set up farming in Kwara State, a template that should be repeated instead of all this ruga nonsense that they are trying to do. So this is a very clever guy. This is the Bukola Saraki that, against all odds, he went against the will of the ruling party to secure for himself the third most powerful position within the Nigerian state, using his political acumen. You can't say that Bukola Saraki is richer than Nigeria and as wealthy as he is. You can't say that Bukola Saraki has more political power than the president, as powerful as he is, but yet he had enough within him to have the smartness to outsmart somebody like Buhari. Well, well, obviously it doesn't take much to outsmart somebody like Buhari, but then he outsmarted Buhari, he outsmarted Oshibanjo, he outsmarted whatever it is, our short little man Adams Oshiomole, he outsmarted all of them. So you cannot say somebody that singularly took on the state and the party and defeated them hands down and did that for 4 years consistently. You cannot say somebody like that is somebody that you will be swept aside with a whiff and a scuff by some short little man from Edo State. So this guy clearly, he has been waiting to, and I think this is a political comment by the way as well by this Madam Oshiomole. It's like a warning shot to the rest of the people that, look, I am very powerful, and I can bring you down. Look how I brought down Saraki, but of course he did not bring down Saraki. All they did was to instruct Mahmoud Yakubu to write figures, as he wrote figures throughout that election and just awarded them what was not due them and what was not the will of the people. So this is really what happened. So a short little man from Edo State making the sort of empty-headed noise that we now know him for. Conversations in the comment section is what I am inviting, but before you come join me in the comment section to have that conversation, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come share your thoughts with me in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, meet you there, but here I say peace.